their points about the importance of the jury system. I agree that an arbitrary cap is ridiculous because everybody's injury can be different. But one of the things that I do differ with them on is they're not, in my view, looking enough at their own. Looking at the things that can be done with lawyers, adopting standards of practice, both for lawyers who represent the injured person, but also the lawyers who represent the doctor. The doctors feel mighty lost when they get a call just before a deposition. That's the first contact with the defense lawyer. And who does the defense lawyer represent? The good ones represent the doctors, but some of the others realize their bills are paid by the insurance company, and they're not always looking out for their doctor client because the insurance company is the client.
I'm sorry, sir. Would you elaborate on that?
Sure. If you're a defense lawyer, you might represent Dr. Doe, but you only represent him once. But the insurance company, maybe Aetna or one of the others, sends you 100 cases. And if they want to go in one direction and the doctor wants to go in the other, you've got an ethical conflict. Under the rules, you're supposed to go in the direction the doctor wants you to go in terms of the defense of the case, maybe to settle. Sometimes doctors want to settle a case and the insurance company won't.
But doesn't the doctor have the right, the client have the right?
It depends on what the language in the policy, but usually no. For all practical intents and purposes, the insurance company decides when the case will be settled unless the doctor does one thing, and that's write a letter to the insurance company instructing settlement. Once that letter is written, the insurance company becomes hooked, is on the hook for any judgment that's in excess of the policy.
A new subject that's cropped up in Lansing, a no-fault system. Is that perhaps a way to go?
The no-fault system, and Professor Jeffrey O'Connell is the author of the auto no-fault system,
yes.
We know would cost more, because every time somebody has an injury...
Well, it's not a lawyer's favorite, of course, because it does you out of work, very simply.
No, as a matter of fact, no-fault, when they did it with auto, created more litigation, because every time one had to wonder whether there was...
Theoretically, it's supposed to do you out of work.
Theoretically. Lawyers are like water. There will always be a way for water to leak out of a container, and lawyers will always find work. But no fault will be more expensive, because every time there's an injury, there'll be a payment. Now, there's only a payment where there's an injury and the injury is caused by wrongdoing.
You're saying it would become an automatic. Some say that they're concerned that a cap would become an automatic also, that if they did put a cap on, every suit would be a $250,000 suit.
That's also a possibility, but the cap also cuts back the upside risk of the insurance company. In other words, if they go to trial, the worst they can be hit with is $250,000, which means more cases will be going to trial. The dockets, because the insurance company doesn't have any risk. The most they have at risk is $250,000. If they've got $1 million at risk, they're more likely to consider settlement. So the dockets will become more congested. You'll hear cries that we hire more judges. The caseloads will back up, and it'll take longer to get cases to trial, and it'll make more work for lawyers.
Are juries runaway juries now, sir?
No. The average jury, and you could sit on a jury, and you could sit on a jury. I've been on a jury. Juries do what's fair in most cases.
We will end at that point. J. Douglas Peters, thank you very much for being with us today on Spotlight. Bill Black of WJR Radio. Dwight Angell, the Detroit News, thank you. I'm Jim Herrington, and we thank you, and good day.